The Ministry of Environment, Science and Technology as well as Innovation has tentatively placed a partial ban on some plastics. It will, however, take a definite decision on which specific micronage to ban after consultations with stakeholders in the plastic industry.
Plastics have become a major component of waste in the country. Its impact on the environment is evident in the perennial flooding and non-communicable diseases the country has had to battle with.
They said that plastics 60 microns and below, including all water sachets and black plastic shopping bags, cultivate a culture of waste separation at source nationwide through public education and sensitization. From tomorrow, direct that the manufacturers should start producing biodegradable. So that directive will be properly formulated and communicated to the manufacturers.
Present at the media briefing were stakeholders including private producers of plastic products, MMDAs, EPA and other corporate bodies. The directive is part of several recommendations made by a committee on the proposed banning of plastics in Ghana set up in 2010. The minister advocated the increase in per capita waste generated as raw material for recycling companies.
The consensus around this table is that one per capita waste here is lower than most places where you have these recycling plants being successful. And so we need to find a way of making sure that as we promote recycling plants, we also protect the market for recycling plants.
Stakeholders at the meeting agreed manufacturing biodegradable products was the way to go.
It's very important because there's a lot of hundreds and thousands of people engaged in manufacturing of plastics, and you don't want to make people unemployed, especially in this environment. So I think the meeting is in order. The discipline aspect of the society in terms of waste disposal should be focused on, and we should do fine as a country.
A policy document is to be drafted to expedite enforcement of the recommendations.
Let's get on the phone lines now and speak to Programs Director of Plastic Waste Management Program, Crunchy Adams Tete. Immense appreciation for your time. Do you agree with this partial ban?
Yes, we agree with it. I just want to give a little further explanation on what is meant by the partial ban on the plastics. You know, these recommendations were made by the stakeholders in the plastic industry way back in 2010, and the major recommendation, one of the major recommendations was that plastics that fall below 60 microns should be banned. And at yesterday's meeting, it was reduced further to 20 or 30. And so the ministry was going to discuss it further with the stakeholders and agree on whether the microns should be 20 or 30 microns.
Now, I get the whole idea behind this, and I know government has good intentions for implementing this ban, but is it sustainable?
Yeah, very, very sustainable. Because the stakeholders, the plastic manufacturers, the sachet water producers have all had discussions with the government and has decided to embark on this. So with just a little cooperation from all stakeholders, this can be sustainable. Because you see, we cannot continue to go the way in which we are going. We need to take certain concrete measures at dealing with the plastic waste issue. And that is why the stakeholders agreed to go this way.
You don't, quite frankly, you don't foresee any challenges in implementing this ban?
No, there could be challenges, but like I said, for every initiative or for any project or any step, there are likely to be challenges. But so far as the stakeholders are focused, and so far as the stakeholders believe in the solution, then we should be able to get over it.
So essentially, there's a general consensus among stakeholders to have this implemented.
Yes, there is a general consensus. And you know, as part of the recommendations that this came up from was the establishment of the Plastic Waste Recycling Fund. And so when the fund is established, then the resources to execute some of these bans could be made much more available, like mass education on radio, on TV, in the churches and in the schools. All these things could be financed from that fund. So the stakeholders have agreed on this line of action, which we think that is going to help. Now the consumers must also take up the challenge, because if you go to the market and you are giving more than one plastic bag for something that you could use one, then you also have to kindly refuse the other one. So we not only the stakeholders like the producers, but the consumers are also major stakeholders. And we need to also encourage them to get this understanding, so that together we can move forward as a country. This problem is not only a problem for the plastic industry, it's a problem for the whole country. So as we move towards this, to solve the problem, we need to include all players, especially the consumers and also particularly the media as well. Because if you carry the right messages through, I believe we are going to get somewhere.
Mr. Kwanchi Adams Teta, Programs Director of Plastic Waste Management Program, thank you very much for your time. We appreciate your contributions.